Andre, you got me. Thank you for the applause. I am nervous as hell. I practice this a million times in the mirror, and I tell you, it doesn't get any easier anytime you walk up on stage. So let's do this together. I'm going to gut punch you here with the first sentence. I was born on a rainy Monday in 1974 to a 14-year-old mother and a 16-year-old father who was a heroin addict. To say that I came into this world with a firm and stable house of Jenga, like the one you see here, would be a lie. I was loud. It was meant to be. No doubt, in your life, your house of Jenga is missing pieces too. Along the way, someone or something knocked it down. See, these Jenga pieces represent the moments in all our lives, the moments of great success and the moments of tremendous suck. We hold on to certain pieces that serve us, either for the short or long term, sometimes helpful, mostly harmful, with a everyone, including me, must suffer grip. Yet, some Jenga pieces can be protective or overprotective, creating walls that isolate and divide. I'll tell you some of the Jenga pieces I once held on to, as if it was a competitive sport. I held on to anger and shame. I held tightly to those and made them my battle armor for most of my young adult life. See, anger served me when I was emancipated at the age of 15 and seeing my dad for the first time in court at the hearing. Anger served me when I was always overlooked as a little girl, discarded and diminished as a preteen, or when I was assaulted the same year I was emancipated. Anger served me when my only possessions for a period of time were 2 trash bags as somebody else's hand-me-downs. Anger had me raise my right hand to serve the Army. Albeit I did get some really cool pictures in a pilot helmet. I was not a pilot, but I looked pretty sexy in it though. Anger shielded me from having connections with other people because if they knew the real me, they'd know too much. And that's just not how I roll. I'm a Scorpio. Anyone feel me on that one? I was a very angry kid because the other Jenga piece I held, remember, was shame. And that one is self-eating. Shame was a hidden badge I wore when by the age of 18, I had moved 30 times. Yeah, you heard that right. 30 homes by the age of 18. Shame was a dark shadow that followed me when no parent showed up to school conferences or to sit down with me and my guidance counselor and talk about college path plans, or to help me pick out my class ring and pay for it, which I never did get. Shame became an unwanted ribbon earned when having to tell other people why my dad died at the age of 32 was because of a heroin overdose. See, that's not a fun fact you share at a meeting icebreaker at all. Yet, let me open your mind to something. In your moments of suck, I want you to think about this word, perseverance. Let me tell you a quick story I've titled The Motel Decision. I was so angry. Yes, I pick up that piece from time to find myself in a terrible position. I was invited to a party, and when I arrived, it was at a motel room. Not hotel, not a fancy one like this, motel. And that was the name of the place, just motel. I walk in, and the smell is overwhelming. It's a mixture of body odor, beer, smoke, and bad breath. There's people smoking crack in one corner, there's others drinking in another. and the song Mama Gonna Knock You Out by LL Cool J playing on the alarm clock radio next to the bed. I know I just dated myself. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I had to get out. A few moments go by, and I go to the bathroom, and in there is a half window just above the sink. I can either leave through that window, or I can go back through the bathroom door into the mini hell that I unknowingly stumbled into, which I know well. Anger can have you make great decisions or outrageous ones too. So I sat down on the side of that pink tub. I looked up at the window, then back to the bathroom door, and then up at that window, and back at that bathroom door. It dawned on me. Anger would have me open the door and choose the tragedy that awaited me on the other side. It's a scene and a script I'm all too familiar with. I know anger. I know it well. I knew that anger was either going to own me or I was going to own it. So I stand up and I take that damn window. I take my flip-flops off, tuck them under my armpit, and I crawl out of that window. Thank you. It was in that moment that I chose perseverance. I chose me. And hell be damned if I was going to end up on some Friday night episode of Dateline. No, says I, not today, Satan. So I get real. I see what's not working in my life. Though I didn't have a steady home, I decided it was okay to be a couch surfing bookworm, and I got a job at McDonald's. I worked drive-through, it was kind of cool. I buckled down in school, I took tougher classes, I joined school committees, and I graduated with perfect attendance in Votech. I saw a future for myself. At that time, I didn't know that perseverance would serve me well later in life. Perseverance is what got me through my daughter's premature birth and the ability to escape an abusive first marriage. Perseverance is what offered me 17 wonderful years with my second husband, with 11 of those trying for a second child. Today, perseverance affords me the ability to navigate life with an inoperable brain lesion that causes epilepsy and migraines, and the ability to stand here before you and tell my dirty laundry, shaking on the inside. Believe me, I'd rather chew tinfoil than do this. So let me ask you this. What are you holding on to? Take a deep breath in that. If you take notes, now's the time. It took me 288 therapy sessions, trust me, I counted it, and 3 anger retreats before the age of 25, before I discovered what Jenga pieces I was holding on to, what I needed to put down or exchange. In that time, I learned to be an observer in those suck moments in life and not an absorber. That I, and so can each of you, get to choose what you will absorb and what you want to absorb. That is one key here. Another key is you must be careful what Jenga pieces you pick up. I'll unpack that. If I grab onto victimhood in this hand and I clench it, this hand can't grab something else. I have another hand, but what will that grab? Maybe it's resentment. But what you need is courage. Will you let go of victimhood to pick up courage? See, you all get the ability to let go or pick up, to absorb or observe. You each have that power. Don't let someone or something take that power. So I'll ask you this again. What are you holding on to? And what is your plan to persevere? I hope by now you're starting to look at the game of Jenga as more than a drinking game or a barbecue pastime. But I have another question for you. What will you do when your house of Jenga loses its pieces? You lose your job. You don't get the promotion. You got a divorce. You had a health scare. Will you lose your mind? Will you lose your focus? Will you lose or will you become an absorber? See, I spent a lot of time looking for my lost Jenga pieces in all the wrong places. I look for them in drugs, alcohol, self-isolation, self-degradation, other people, and other things. I worked tirelessly on putting the pieces back together again in any order, not focusing on what I was picking up, what I was taking from other people, or if my house of Jenga was even stable. If the house looked okay to everybody else, I too thought it was okay. But aren't you tired of keeping it all together, balancing the pieces, rushing to put it all back together again in any order that you can, just as long as you get the house built and you do it with a smile on your face? No one will know the real you, the real story, the real Jenga pieces you cling to. But, hey, wake up. Really, wake up. No one's house is perfect. We all have holes, shaky foundation, and Swiss cheese for walls, and not so pretty Jenga pieces in our hands. But that can change. So hear me when I say to you this afternoon, you can choose what Jenga pieces you pick up. You can do that one by one or by the fistful. I'll show you. But if you pick up more than you can manage and you don't pay attention to what you picked up, you may have picked up overwhelmed, a shell of a person, emotionally drained, burnt out. But what you didn't pick up was self-reflection, priority. You just know your house is not in order. The pieces fit, but something's off. So from perseverance, the next word I'd like you to consider is ownership. Owning your own shit. I said it. I'll say it again. But that is where the real inner journey begins. Anthony Bourdain once said, if you want to know if the roof is leaking, you must first go inside. Do your inner work and own your crap. Oprah has a sign in her office that reads, be responsible for the energy you bring into this space. In short, it just means owning your baggage. Unpack it, examine it, and Marie Kondo it. You don't know her? Google it during lunch. She's excellent. Great Netflix show. Practice the art of self-reflection. Fix what you don't like about yourself. Start by dropping the Jenga pieces that don't serve you. And yes, owning your own part in someone else's life, whether it's small or big. We all play either a major character role, guest appearance, extra, or short role in each other's lives. You don't get to play a major character role in somebody else's life and hand them your dishonest Jenga piece just because someone handed it to you. It doesn't work that way. Just like I'm playing a guest appearance in your life this afternoon, the Jenga pieces you bring and what you share is vital. Each of you had a Jenga piece in your seat when you walked in today. I'd like you to take a moment and find it and place it in your hand. As you hold it in your hand, take a moment of self-reflection and think while I ask you these questions. What words would others say about you? Would they use joyful, tenacious, cranky, cantankerous? That's my favorite word, by the way. What words or Jenga pieces could you give to someone else? Would you hand them gratitude, peace? Here's a big one. Forgiveness, maybe grace. What Jenga piece are you withholding from someone else or perhaps from yourself? What type of personal house do you want to build? Is it in a hurry, by any means necessary? Or are you going to build a house with intention and purpose? One that will withstand setbacks, letdowns, and tremendous moments of suck. Before I exit the stage, the Jenga piece that is in your hand is my perseverance piece that I gift to each of you. You have the pieces, go build it.